Well, the Dallas city manager just made a startling admission when they asked voters to approve money for a police academy 2 years ago. The city didn't have a plan for how to build one.
Yeah, and now they may be on the verge of going back to voters asking for millions more. Tonight, Dallas City Hall reporter Cole Sullivan breaks down what else could be up to you this fall.
The folks here at Dallas City Hall could be about to ask voters, you, for permission to borrow more money. One reason? To build police officers a new place to train. Pretty much everyone agrees the academy they have now stinks.
We have nothing when it comes to police training facilities that we should be proud of in Dallas.
That's why you already gave the city permission to borrow millions for a new academy. But the city manager says that money isn't enough. And when the city asked for permission to borrow $50 million, it really had no basis for that number.
The answers were, we didn't have any plans. That's just all we could ask for.
So the city may ask voters for permission to borrow hundreds of millions of more dollars to build that police academy and for other public safety projects. Council members are split.
I absolutely will not be voting for it as a voter, and I hope voters will follow suit.
It is way past time that we make good on this promise.
But that's not all. Dallas may also ask to borrow $500 million to help fund the police and fire pension. But borrowing money isn't free, and interest rates are high right now.
The worst case scenario is that it does not save the city any money and it actually costs the city additional.
There's more. The city can't just borrow and borrow and borrow, and it says because of that, some other projects that you approved money for are going to have to wait. Projects like road repairs, playground replacements, and historic theater upgrades.
Council can accept what staff is presenting. You can reject what staff is presented.
If they approve it at a meeting next week, it'll be on the ballot in November. Back to you.
All right, tough decisions ahead. For the first time tonight, we've learned how much DART's CEO will be paid and the perks he's entitled to. Nat Ford's contract stipulates he'll make more than $500,000 a year, plus $1,000 a month for a, quote, executive allowance. And DART's paying $80,000 in moving expenses from his home in Florida. The board president has gone on record saying Ford took a pay cut coming to North Texas, and he starts work this fall.
Now, good news for fire crews that have spent more than 48 hours battling a large wildfire near Jacksboro in Jack County. The A&M Forest Service says the Bear Hollow fire is now 100% contained. It burned 900 acres in a rural area. All state resources have now been released from the fire.
Democratic nominee James Tallarico just rolled out his economic agenda in Arlington and received the endorsement of former Tarrant County Judge Glenn Whitley, a lifelong Republican. But as senior political reporter Jason Whiteley reports, tonight Tallarico is facing new questions about his own voting history.
Show some love for James Tallarico.
James Tallarico's event in Arlington, clearly weeks in the works, looked like a set from a national political convention as he made his first big policy announcement unveiling economic proposals.
We are getting screwed. Whether you're a little more conservative or a little more progressive, we're all getting screwed.
Tallarico unveiling a number of ideas, including canceling medical debt, repealing tax breaks for the wealthiest 1%, and providing down payment assistance for first-time home buyers.
It is time to also cap sky-high credit card interest cards and reel in these predatory credit card companies that are ripping off working people across this state and across this country.
A Texas Southern University poll this week has Tallarico leading the race for U.S. Senate against Republican Ken Paxton, 47 to 45%, a rare position for a Texas Democrat, but this is the third survey in the last 10 days or so showing Tallarico in the lead.
Got to pull together 60 or so percent of independents, and then you got to pull over a little bit of soft Republicans. That's where he is right now. That's where the polling is. I think it may settle out a little bit, so we may be really on the battleground here. I usually say that it's a knife fight uphill for Democrats. Well, it's a knife fight, but we're on even ground now.
But Tallarico also on the defensive Wednesday after the Texas Tribune reported that he voted in 5 elections using his parents' address rather than his own. It is particularly notable because Tallarico has attacked Paxton for something similar. Tallarico tonight not taking questions from reporters. So from here, James Tallarico is taking his economic proposals on the road like his Republican rival, Ken Paxton. Both Senate candidates trying to address the biggest issue in the state right now, despite political party, and that is affordability. In Arlington, I'm Jason Whiteley.
Republican Senate nominee Ken Paxton took his campaign to Houston tonight. He spoke on the city's north side, a heavily Democratic area. He talked about his economic plan, saying if elected, he'll push for massive tax deductions for medical expenses and insurance premiums and tax write-offs for health improvements.
I also want to offer up a $5,000 healthy living tax deduction for those people that want to be healthier. Gym memberships, nutrition, sports for your kids, and physicians prescribed GLP-1s for all of us.
Paxton takes his campaign to Austin and McAllen tomorrow. And WFAA is your trusted source for top political stories. Stay informed by tuning into Inside Texas Politics and our Y'all-itics podcast, both streaming online on our app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A family in Dallas is breathing a sigh of relief tonight, relieved to have two girls back home. A 5-year-old left her apartment around 5 a.m. with her 13-year-old cousin. Reporter Aaron Heft was talking to the teenage girl's mom on camera when she learned the little girl was okay.
Please help me find my kids. We found her. We found her?
Investigators tell us a Good Samaritan found the 5-year-old, and a short time later, patrol officers found her older cousin in Mountain View. Right now, officers are still looking into how the girls ended up miles from home.
Tonight, Cowboys QB Dak Prescott is laying out some of his plans for the new season. Lead sports anchor Joe Trahan sat down one-on-one with Prescott at Cowboys training camp today. I've been looking forward to this one, Joe. What'd you learn?
Well, Izzy, I think I learned that Dak's sense of urgency has never been higher. With a full decade in the NFL under his belt, Dak is leading as he always has, but I do think he has tweaked and evolved the way he goes about it, working harder than ever to try and build a sense of brotherhood to get the best out of his teammates in between the lines.
I think maybe it's just more asking the hard questions earlier. You know, in the past it was getting to know the guy a little bit more than, you know, when you ask the hard questions, you kind of expedite that relationship and you kind of expedite the things that don't mean as much. And so just getting past the surface level talk and really getting to know guys.
Dak says it's always the QB's job to step up when the team needs a big play or there's a big moment, but preparing for those moments is how he's trying to maximize his ability as well as those around him. And a heightened sense of urgency means being more intentional about accountability. Are you more direct when the analysis may not be positive?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's with age, and I think that's as you get through your season and, you know, you realize you won't be able to do this forever. The urgency picks up, and that allows you to maybe speak with a little bit more just and just care less of feelings and emotions, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all in this for the same reason, and we should be able to have these conversations.
Yeah, let me translate that for you. That means that Dak is more willing to get in his teammates' faces to make sure they're doing the right thing, and that will absolutely serve this Cowboys team well. We've got so much more that we talked about, and I even gave Dak Prescott a gift. I gave a $60 million quarterback a gift. I'll tell you all about it coming up later in sports. Izzy?
All right, thank you, Joe. Can't wait to see what that is. After 35 years, a beloved arcade in Fort Worth was this close to closing its doors for good. But as Luke Clary shows us, a surge of customers and generous donations is giving Tornado Terry's a second chance.
And we come a lot with my cousins, my neighbors.
It's an old game with lessons around every corner.
They're here interacting, so they're learning geometry.
For more than 35 years,
thank you so much.
Shannon Bell has built Tornado Terry's into a place where kids can shoot pool, play arcade games, and families can afford to stay a while.
This place has that homey feel.
Our kids are safe here.
But after years of construction outside her door and rising costs inside, Shannon decided to close and auction off the games. Game over.
It has been an incredible roller coaster, but I don't know how to adequately express what that feels like.
Or so she thought.
Closing is hard.
A WFAA story about Tornado Terry's closure aired 2 weeks ago. Shannon says it changed the math.
The news story aired at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night, That very following Saturday, we broke all of our records that we'd ever set in 35 years by 150% on that Saturday.
Shannon started a GoFundMe, and one neighbor promised to cover any shortfall if she kept the doors open.
Oh, I got 30.
Shannon called off the auction.
Are they not closing?
And with the auction off, the doors stay open.
Oh my God. This is actually so exciting. I thought they were gonna be gone forever.
The auctioneer says some of the more valuable sets like Guitar Hero could have fetched up to $10,000 on their own. He expected $250,000 to $300,000 to be generated from this auction.
I just don't even know what to say. It is beyond belief how this is falling in place.
The numbers finally added up, and Tornado Terry's got an extra life.
Oh my God.
In Fort Worth, I'm Luke Clare.